It started as an ordinary Friday night, the kind of quiet evening when you expect nothing more dramatic than a movie and some leftovers. My wife, Claire, and I had been distant lately. Not fighting, not affectionate, just existing in that dull middle ground where silence feels heavier than words. Around 9 p.m., as I sat on the couch finishing some work emails, she came out of the bedroom already dressed to leave, coat on, keys in hand, purse over her shoulder. "I'm going to sleep at my mother's house," she said flatly, without looking at me. No argument, no explanation. Just that. I looked up, surprised but not entirely shocked. "At your mom's?" I asked. "Yeah," she said, avoiding eye contact. "We just need some space tonight. It's been tense lately." I nodded slowly, keeping my tone calm. "You're right. Things have been off." She exhaled, as if relieved I wasn't starting an argument. "Good. Then we agree." She turned toward the door, and that's when I said it, without thinking, without planning, just letting the truth slip out like a calm wave. "That's interesting," I said. "Because your mother is here with me." She froze, hand on the doorknob, and turned around slowly. Her eyes narrowed. "What are you talking about?" I motioned toward the kitchen, where a familiar laugh echoed softly. Her mother, Linda, was sitting at the table, sipping tea. She had come by earlier that evening unexpectedly, saying she wanted to check on us. Claire's face turned pale as she realized the situation. "She's here?" she asked, her voice shaking a little. "Has been for the past hour," I said evenly. "She knocked while you were in the shower. We've been talking." Her lips parted slightly, and I could see a dozen emotions flash across her face. Confusion, frustration, embarrassment, maybe even guilt. "What did you talk about?" she asked, her voice low. "You," I said simply. "And me. And how we stopped being a team." Claire hesitated before walking slowly toward the kitchen. Her mother looked up and smiled gently. "I told him the truth, honey," she said softly. "That you've been overwhelmed. That you've been holding in more than you should." Claire dropped her keys onto the counter and sank into a chair. "Mom, I didn't mean—" "I know," Linda interrupted kindly. "You were going to come over and vent, weren't you? Tell me how frustrated you are, how distant he's been." Claire didn't answer, just stared at her hands. I sat across from her, keeping my tone steady. "I don't blame you for needing space, Claire. But walking out isn't space, it's avoidance." Her eyes flicked to mine, defensive for a second, then softened. "You don't understand," she said quietly. "I feel invisible sometimes. Like I'm talking but you're not hearing me. And I feel the same," I said. "Like we're both waiting for the other to fix something we broke together." Linda stood up and placed her hand gently on her daughter's shoulder. "You two remind me of me and your father," she said. "Always trying to win arguments instead of trying to understand each other. It doesn't end well, trust me." Claire let out a small, shaky laugh. "I just needed a night to clear my head," she said finally. "I wasn't trying to make it a statement." "Then don't make it one," I replied. "Stay. Let's talk for once instead of shutting down." For a long moment, she didn't move. Then she nodded slowly. "Okay," she whispered. "But I don't even know where to start." "Start with what you feel," I said gently. "Not what you think I did wrong. Just what's sitting inside you." She hesitated, then spoke quietly. "I feel like we lost the spark that made us want to fight for each other. I feel like everything turned into responsibility instead of love." Her voice cracked slightly. "And I miss us." I reached across the table, my hand finding hers. "Then let's find us again," I said. "We don't need a perfect solution tonight. Just a promise that we'll stop running away from each other." She squeezed my hand, eyes glistening. "I can do that," she said. Linda smiled faintly, setting her tea down. "Looks like my work here is done," she said softly. "Now you two can talk like grown-ups." Claire laughed through her tears, wiping her eyes. "I can't believe you were here the whole time," she said to her mom. "I was ready to drive across town." "And I'm glad you didn't," Linda replied. "Because sometimes you don't need distance, you need presence." After she left, the house felt different, still quiet, but warmer. Claire and I sat together on the couch, not saying much, just letting the silence be something peaceful for once. "You really caught me off guard," she said finally, smiling faintly. "You and your timing. Guess the truth comes out when it's meant to," I said. She leaned her head on my shoulder. "Thank you for not letting me walk away." I wrapped my arm around her. "Thank you for staying." That night, there were no dramatic apologies or sweeping promises, just two people choosing to listen again, reminded by a twist of timing and a mother's tea that love doesn't always need distance to heal. Sometimes, it just needs honesty at the right moment.